Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. Today, we will be talking about blueprint dashboards and how they scale up your IoT application and how to scale up your IoT application with them. Right, we are just going to wait a few seconds for everybody to join in. Right, so just wait a bit. And by the way, guys, for those who don't know, who don't know me, my name is Marcelo. I am TagoIO content editor, and with me today I have Guilherme Costa, one of our developers. Right? Before we start, please feel free to introduce yourself on our chat, right? And if you have any questions, we have just opened our Q&A that is located above the chat, so you guys can ask your questions there, right? At the end of the presentation, we will have a moment to answer them all your questions. And just a quick reminder, right? We are constantly having webinars. So if you don't want to miss them, please visit our events page. There you can see our schedule, right? So, guys, you can say hi, hello, present yourself on the chat. And without further ado, please, Guilherme.
Great, great. Thank you, Marcelo. So, everyone, we're gonna talk about Blueprint Dashboard and tags in this webinar. Tags is a very important topic in order to configure the Blueprint Dashboard. And if there is a word that I would choose to summarize the tags concept, would be reference. With tags, you'll be pretty much references to the dashboard, understand which device it's gonna fetch on the blueprint dropdown, which user are gonna have access to which dashboard, and so on. But first, let's take a look at the agenda, and then we will dive more deeper about this. So first we have the welcome, second building applications, third user tags and access management, fourth application showcase, which I'm gonna present my screen and go over everything that we discussed here in practice. And in the end, we'll open for a Q&A. So let's get started. Okay, so let's take a look at this slide and understand what is saying here. So we have in lighter blue TagoIO. So it's basically admin.tag.io is the backend. So it's the place where you're gonna develop your application or your dashboards. And we have two ways to provide access to the dashboard. The left side, is the distribute. It's more likely that you use this to share dashboards to your developers or your colleagues or a team worker, and because they can have access to the structure, they can modify, add, remove, and so on the dashboard, and they can visualize all information. That's more prepared to a developer because on the right side, in the darker blue box there, we have run. So run is the side where the end user, access your application. Basically, there, once you build everything, you will deploy, and then you can give an access point to your end user to access through your url.com, for example. It will have your theming colors, your logo, white label, and so on. And you can define different permissions there. That's what we are gonna cover here. So let's take a look at on what is tags and how this can help us here. So basically, in this slide, we have two different tags, right? We have the green tag and the blue tag. And also, we have on top the dashboards, and in the bottom the users. It is pretty straightforward there, right? So basically, the user with the green tag will have access to the dashboard with the green tag, while the user with blue tag will have access to the dashboard with the blue tag, and the latter user, there is no tag, so it will not have access to any dashboard. Okay, this is the tags concept. That's why I say that you in the end will be building references, relationships, to so the system can identify which user will have access to uh, what dashboard. Okay, so this is how it looks like on TagoIO. You have the device sections there. You can see that we have four devices. We have multiple tags assigned to those devices. We have stage tag, customer tag, city tag, and state tag. Depending on your use case, your scenario, you may need multiple tags. For example, let's take a look on the customer tag. It's saying pretty much the second and fourth device. Um, the company A has permission to see that device, while the first one is assigned to the company B, and the third is company D. So basically different clients, right? So if those devices are related to that specific company, we tag that as we want. Or if we want to, for example, filter device under production stage, we can do this as well, as it is showing on the first at the first column there, where we have production or development um, tags. That's the idea here. That's how it looks like on TagoIO. Um, and also, when assigning tags, you need to also prepare policies, because we need to create policies under the access management, so the system can understand what is that green tag, right? So for example, here we have different roles for different users. For example, we assign the first user with the tag green to be a supervisor. The second will be the end user, and the others as well. So we define that in policies. We will cover this in the practice as well, but it's very important that you understand that we need to build policies after assigned tags as well. This is a second step. Okay. And then this is how it looks like on TagoIO. When I say TagoIO, this is the admin.tag.io. It's not the run side yet. So that's it's where you develop. That's for a development view, because we have device, buckets, files, analysis, actions, so much information there, which we don't want the end user to access it, or we likely will not want, right? Um, so it is highlighted in red, left side, device, access, and users. That's where you're gonna access to. Uh, it is the sections where you're gonna assign a tag, for example, for device or for the users, or on the access there at the access button, you'll be able to create the policies. We'll cover this all in the practice, but just showing here where those information are located. For your interest, analysis actions also has have tags, because for example, when dealing with analysis, you may want, or in backend some other external code, you may want to filter a entity depending on a certain tag. For example, I just want to filter the actions that are related to the alerts for the company A. That is possible through tags. So basically, to summarize here, you can list and filter by tags a specific entity. In this case, actions. We can do with device as well, dashboards, and users. Okay, so now we'll have a practice here. So I have a hands-on to understand the blueprint dashboard in practice. I'll also be covering tags and the access management section. And we will also see how this reflects on TagoIO. We will see an application with multi-tenant as well, which is very interesting. So let me share my screen here. Okay, I prepared this profile here for the webinar today. We have two dashboards. First one is truck view. I prepared this one as well, which is pretty much a blueprint dashboard with a map widget. And we can also see that we have the user registration dashboard here. This dashboard I've imported at tago.io slash dashboards templates. You can also import this dashboard if you wish as well. If you visit our dashboard template library, we have a lot of templates here. I got this one here. You can get this template. You will receive this template. Then you just need to click how to. You see a quick guide here. You need to import an analysis. That analysis will be automatically imported here. This is the analysis. Invite new user. You should follow these instructions as well. It is very quick. It is saying that you need to set up the device token and then the account token. It is explaining what is each token on in environment variables here, so you can have access to permission to your profile. Okay, and also it's very important that if you click here, edit mode, hidden, you have the form. It's very important to set up this button here, submit, to trigger the analysis. So make sure that this is set. You can see when click it, select an analysis, invite new user. So when you click this button, it will run the analysis and process the data. We'll be creating a user here. So it's very important to check if this is set correctly. Okay. So for this webinar, I prepared, let me take this off my screen. I prepared the following. So I will show the result that we want to achieve here. Uh, Let me show you. So we have, in the end of this practice, we will understand how to achieve this. So we'll have Adam, which is the admin, and he will have access to map and user registration. We'll have John, which will have access, which is the client, have access only for the map. You can see that it has its own data. And for Peter, we'll be assigning a tracker for the specific clients as well, and there is a different view, but they both but they all use the same dashboards. Okay, so let's get started. I'm gonna create John as a client here. We can see that this already put up. I'm gonna create. Um, we will see that this will appear here in a second. I'm gonna check the user here. We saw that this has been created on the user management side. So the analysis is handling this. So we have this user. I'm gonna refresh this. And also I'm gonna create the admin at admin. I place the user email here. I'm gonna change the to his phone number and select his address. Click create, confirm. Okay. And now also I'm gonna create Peter, which is our client. Peter at peter.com. I'm gonna change to Peter my client phone and also select his address. Okay, let's see this here. We have the 3 users. Also, I'm gonna press refresh here. We we are waiting for this user to appear here. We'll check this in a second, but let's understand here how this user how they will log in. Let's wait a bit. So I just clicked here, log in as this user. Since I don't have the user password, I don't remember the user password. I can change here as well, but I will click here to see how the user will be signed up. So we have two sidebar buttons, which I prepared this as well, but we don't have access to non-dashboard. You can see that it is loading and it timeout, and then we don't have access. So let's visit run. So we're gonna configure this now to the run side. If you click here, we can click sidebar, scroll down a bit, and then we can see that I prepared two sidebar buttons. And I assign it to the one that I prepared there. If I click here, set visibility condition, we can see that we don't have none, right? So, first thing here, if I log in as as the client, for example, Peter, we will see that Peter has access to user registration. So we need to restrict this permission. So the first thing that we will do is set visibility condition for those buttons. For example, we can see that we need a tag for this user. So let's assign a tag for this user first. We have 3 users, and then we need to um, assign a user to differentiate each position. For example, Adam will have access admin. John, I'm gonna set access as client. By the way, you can put anything that you want here, position, access, anything that you want. Row, doesn't matter. And Peter, I will also set access to client. Okay. And now, uh, on the run, sidebar again, I'm gonna set a visibility conditions here. So I'll set if the user has access to client or has the tag key here. Again, can be row, position, anything that you want to. So if the user has key access and value client and also admin, I'm gonna show this button. Also for the user management, I just want the admin to have this view. So let's click confirm, save, and see how this will reflect on the run side. I'm gonna log in as admin. Let's see this. Okay, so we have both permission here for the sidebar buttons, but we don't have permission to the dashboard yet. That's okay. So let's check one of the clients and see if they can see only one button. And there we go. Okay, so this is the first step. We are restricting the view of the sidebar buttons. Now we need to provide access to the correct dashboard. So I'm gonna place the tag in the dashboard. Okay, so I'm gonna add it. I'm gonna click on tags. I'm gonna select key access and then the value admin. And also access fellow client. But for the user management, I just want the admin to have access to this. So I will create access and only assign admin. Okay. Um, so now let's log in and understand this. I'm gonna log in as Adam, the admin first. We can see that we do not have access still. Why? Because we didn't assign the policy. So that's the step two. It's very important because with tags itself, it cannot permit the user to have access to the specific dashboard. You need to set up policies for this. So I'm gonna add two policies here. The first one will be the admin role, and the target will be the user who have the tag access and admin. And then I'm gonna allow, so this is the permissions now, so I'm gonna allow the dashboard with access, and then the tag, every dashboard that have tag access admin. Okay, I'm gonna also create another policy to the clients. So run user tag access client, and then dashboard access tag, and then instead of admin, I'm gonna say client. Okay, so let's take a look and open the admin. We can see that now we have access to the dashboard. Finally, we have access to the dashboard. I'm gonna switch to user registration. We have access to this as well, and for the truck view dashboard. For the clients, we let's check this. Okay, so we have access to map, and then we have access to the location, the truck view dashboard as well. Okay, so we accomplish here an object to have this done. Now let's assign different device to the blueprint dashboard here. Let's start to configure the blueprint dashboard. First thing, I'm gonna create two devices here. One will be I will create a simulator, truck simulator. This is basically a mock-up data that will be pushed in. You can see here every 3 minutes. So I'm gonna say that this is Peter's GPS tracker. I'm gonna select immutable. If you're not familiar with this term, you can visit our knowledge center where it will be explaining what is the mutable and immutable device. I'm gonna select period and data retention to 1. Right away, if you're not sure what is data retention, you can also click here to learn more. Also, we have plenty of resource on our knowledge basic center, which is very good as well to take a look there. Okay, I'm gonna create, and also I'm gonna sell a tracker to my client John. I'm gonna choose this bus now. So John's GPS tracker. So now here we are. I'm not sure if you noticed, but here we are dealing with multi-tenants, right? Because we have multiple users for one single dashboard, and in the end, we will want to reuse this dashboard. Only create one dashboard and reuse to two different clients, but only show to that specific client their own device, their related device. We can see here on the dashboard that we do not have any tracker. So it is we should now set this drop down to fetch that device based on a specific device type, right? So added the dashboard, blueprint settings, and then we can see that we already have a blueprint device, tracker dev. There is the tag type and tag value tracker. So what we need to do, we need to assign this tag to those devices as well. So I'm gonna select only the trackers here. I have others device, but I just want to those trackers to appear there. So I'm gonna set key type and then copy this from the blueprint settings there. I'm gonna also assign this to the other track. Okay, so now if we see the dashboard, we should receive the trackers here. There we go. We can see that we already have a data here as well for John's tracker, Chicago, and here also for Peters. It is in a different place, right? Near Detroit. Okay. So you can see that we are using one dashboard to multiple client. But when we log in, so let's log in and see this. So I'm gonna log in as Peter. We can see that Peter doesn't have access to any tracker here on the run side. Because we are missing here on the policies the permission for the access to the device. For example, for admin, I'm gonna provide access to every device. So device, blueprint access, tag, type, tracker. Also, for the client, I'm gonna do the same thing. Allow device, blueprint access, type, tracker. Now let's go back and see first the admin view. Okay, if I'm an administrator, I'm gonna see information from both of my clients. That's all right. So I have access to Peter and also to John's GPS tracker. But for the end user, let's log in as Peter now. We will see that they have access to Jones tracker from another client's record. So this is something that we need to prepare here to separate this, right? Because we don't want the Peter to have access to Jones GPS tracker. So what we are gonna do here now is the logic to separate this and finalize our object here, right? So for this final step, we need to place an identification on Peter and John and also on their device. So the system can understand and can separate this. So we need to create a reference from Peter to their device and John to his device. Okay, so I'm gonna click here, Peter, click tags, and I'm gonna assign a new tag to him. So I'm gonna choose, I don't know, client ID. And then we can place here Peter, for example. If you're doing this on analysis, in the analysis side, you may want to get the identification from that specific user because you can have multiple clients with Peter name, right? So this is an unique ID and this may not be. So just a heads up there. Um, okay, and for John, I'm gonna assign client ID. Oh, okay. Now we need to specify this on device as well, right? So we're gonna build this relationship. Gonna assign track client ID and Peter and John's tracker, client ID, John. And now we need to modify the policy, right? So at access management client, we need to modify this permission here because we don't want to provide access to every device that have type tracker. We want here now to I'm gonna add one more layer here. I'm gonna say tag match and I'm gonna choose client ID. So the device needs to match the tag with the user in order to have access. And then I'm gonna choose tag match and then click client ID. I'm gonna hit save, apply change. So now let's check the result. I'm gonna first show the admin. We didn't change anything here, but it is as we expect because we want to show all information to the super admin. But for the end users, let's check. We want to restrict the permission, right? Because we want only to Peter view their own device. So now we can see that Peter has access to only his device, not for John's device. And then we can also log in as John and we can check this that John has access to his only own device, not Peter's device. So that's a demonstration, everyone, how we can build an application using tags and blueprint dashboard. And you saw I just have one access manager, so one rule for multiple clients. You can create 100 clients here as well. And also we just have one dashboard. This way you can use blueprint dashboard to scale up your application, easily scale up, and you can easily deal with multi clients, multi tenant with this. Okay, I'm gonna pass to Marcelo again.
Amazing presentation, Guilherme. Thank you for it. It's good to review support for tool, and when you see it in detail like this, it's very clarifying for everybody, right? We have some questions already here, right? But guys, don't be afraid to send additional questions, right? We are here to help you. Okay? So anyway, the first question: is there any limit of quantity of blueprint devices?
Blueprint device. So you need to check your account tier. For example, if you have a free account, you have a limit of 5 devices only. If you have the starter plan, you have access to you can create until to 50 device or dashboards, if not mistaken. And for the scale, it's limited. So if you want to check, I think tag.io under pricing, you have that information.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I meant dashboards, not devices.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
same thing, same
that's
limit.
fair. By the way, let me ask you: uh, if I want to learn more about blueprint dashboards, where can I look for it?
Okay, so we have plenty of good resource. You can check our YouTube channel. There is a old webinars there that may help you. Also check our knowledge base center where there is a documentation for all the widgets and uh, for all the entities as well. Access management that I just covered here is also there, tags as well. And we also have our community, right, that you can reach it out when you
Yeah,
want.
that's fair. So, if you guys don't have any other questions, thank you, Guilherme, for the presentation. Right, and thanks for everybody to join us. Right, and let me tell you guys something. I would like to remind that this webinar is being recorded. So if you missed any part of it or want to rewatch it, we will send you guys a link for it, and it will be available on our website as well on Vimeo and YouTube. Right, and it would be amazing to see you all at our next presentation. So stay tuned. Right? You can check our next webinars and events on our official website. So don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter so you always know about our following events and the IoT world. Correct? And if you don't have a TagoIO account, it's pretty easy to create one. And if you need help, you can always schedule a demo with us for free. Finally, if you are a developer and have any technical questions or need any further details in your answer, join our community. There, our team of developers will be happy to assist you. So, thank you all. I will see you in our next webinar. Bye.